Welcome to Ghost Stories. I'm Psychic Medium John, and I'm going to tell you a real-life ghost story. So, when I was young, and I'm going to need your help on this, so some of the internet sleuths, get your notepads ready. I'm going to have you write down this information, and you're going to help me look up this information too. So, when I was young, we lived in a house that was in my dad's family for generations. Now, my grandmother, great-grandmother, great-grandparents, and all my great-aunts kind of grew up and raised in this house, and I do believe that this house was kind of like an amalgam of different houses put together, and then it was eventually moved from the back end of the property to the front end of the property. Now, this is where you come in, and I want you to help me look up the history of the land in this house. So the house was, I believe the address was right around 1525 Tanner Road in Rayne, Louisiana. So, for those of you who are from South Louisiana, if you're going up Highway 95, you're going towards Church Point, and you're going down the Mayer Highway, which is my family's last name, my mother's last name is Mayer. You're going up the Mayer Highway towards the church. One of the roads you're going to encounter is Tanner Road, and if you take a left on Tanner Road, the house was about a half mile down up on the right. It's no longer there, but it was this gray house, so some of you who are my age may remember seeing it. So in this house that I grew up in, my dad's family, and even my dad grew up in, there was a lot of unexplained things that happened. Now, maybe it's just because I'm a psychic medium, but I wasn't the only one experiencing things. One of the things that we would experience is that every day at about noon, in the corner of the dining room, we would hear this kind of like howling sound. And it would, we had dogs when I was a kid, but we always had the smaller, kind of like rat terrier, Cairn terrier type dogs. This howling sound sounded like it came from like a bigger dog, what I would say like a Labrador Retriever or a German Shepherd or German Shorthair. One day, our neighbor, who would come visit quite often, I believe her name was Melinda, came in. We were in the dining room, and that sound happened. So she asked my mom, what was that sound? And my mom says, oh, that's just our ghost. And the next thing I heard was door slamming, and then you could look out the window and see this trail of dust. So she was booking it back to her house. Now, so not only would we experience that, but I clearly remember being a kid, and my room was off to the side of the living room. The door would be open, and I would see shadow figures standing around my bed. Now, they weren't moving, and this really wasn't in an kind of area where there was a lot of traffic, so there was no light play or anything like that. We would hear pots and pans being rattled in the kitchen at night when my parents' room was right next to mine, so I could hear them if they moved and came out of their room. But my sister's room was directly across from mine, and I could really see if she was, coming out of her room or anything. None of that was happening. And I clearly remember one night that my mom saw, and she was freaked out because she saw just like a guy's from the waist down legs walking through the living room. Wouldn't that creep you out? And I would clearly hear like whispers. They were just whispers. Couldn't tell what they were being said or anything like that, but you can clearly hear whispers. So for all your internet sleuths out there, you can help me look up this information on this house, maybe even on this part of the land, because I really don't know much about my dad's that side of the family. Again, I believe the address was about 1525 Tanner Road, Rayne, Louisiana, 77084, I believe was the area code. I went to Mayer Elementary as a kid, so you might be able to remember this house or quickly look it up. So until next time, peace out.